Ah. Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and this is a tutorial. We're not going to play a game tonight, but we are going to go over a rule set that I found recently that really intrigues me. And we're going to do this as in a tutorial form so that I learn the rules and the people that are going to be playing this game with me in the near future can also learn the rules. So, if you're watching on VOD, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, that's great because you're going to be able to go back and forth and check and find out if I'm wrong. So, let's start with this. The game itself, Rapscallion, the Quick Start Guide, is what we're playing tonight. And we're using that one because that's the current level that's available. Um, it's a fairly new system. They did a Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is done. They made their goal and way more, so we can expect to see a lot more coming up from these guys with other other sheeting and improvements to come. But let's get to what they've already done. Rapscallion is the name of the game. You are pirates. It is wild, great fun. It is intended to be big, silly fun. So guess who thinks that's a good idea? Me. Hello, Bison. How did I know you'd be here? But let's do this. This is a quick start guide. It's called Rapscallion. If you've played, it's from Magpie Games, as the sign says. And if you've played Masks, Urban Shadows, Apocalypse World, those sorts of things, this is going to look really familiar in some senses, and in some senses it is not. It is a fairly new game. It just came out. The quick start guide just came out last year. I'm gonna do the actually read the credits because they're short, they're to the point, and these are the people that did the work. So let's give them some credit. I'm just gonna read it right from the manual. Art, design, and writing is by someone named Whistler. The developmental editing is by Brendan Conway and Mark Diaz Truman. Art direction by Marissa Kelly. Layout by Valerie Osborne. Additional layout by Thomas Dini and Miguel Angel Espinoza. I probably pronounced that wrong. Uh, project management by Mark Diaz Truman. Proofreading by Catherine Fackrell. And kudos to Catherine. I see typos as like huge glaring holes in text. It freaks me out, and I didn't find a single friggin' one in this, and I'm really impressed. Uh, and also it says, special thanks to Luke Crane and his book Miseries and Misfortunes for inspiring the renown mechanic, and we'll get to that shortly. It said 2023, so just last year. I'll admit I'm killing time a little bit because there's only a couple of us in here, and I'm hoping for a few more to show up before we actually start. But let's use that time to talk about some of the real basic concepts of this game. The crew, that's you, that's the pirates. That's easy. The fates, fancy word for narrator or game master, that's me in this case, also simple. But then there's the worlds. And the worlds in Rapscallion are kind of turned upside down on purpose. It's easier to talk about them than it is to explain them. So let's start with the world with laws. This is the bad guys in this case. The world with laws is always evil in this game. They are, to quote the text, land dwelling, corrupt, and cruel by nature. If there's, if there's a bad thing, they're doing it. So that's the world with laws. On the other side of that, there's you, the world without laws, the pirate world. It's a world of pirates and myth. Death is a force, an entity that lurks beneath the sea. You can make a deal with death when your time comes, and maybe it won't. Demons corrupt, consume, and make deals. They possess no bodies of their own, so they must borrow somebody else's. In return for pieces of you, they'll give you powers beyond your imagining. So that's one of the ways that there is magical influence in this game. And I'm really interested to see how the magic is going to play out in this game because, as you're about to find out, it's different. But let's keep going. The sea and the sky are the domains of fate, luck, and prophecy. The stars will always guide you where you truly desire to go. So again, this game is about huge heroic moments, but the trick is there's the sea and the land is full of evil empire bastards, and the sea is full of you wonderful do-gooding piratey persons. But here's the other way that magic comes into this game through books. I'm just gonna again just gonna read the blurb here. We'll get into more details as we go along, but this is just the intro to get us sort of set up. Books must be made with good permanent ink by a true wordsmith to become magical. Such a book will transport you, invigorate you, hypnotize you, trap you, or curse you. If you put too much of yourself into them, books take on a life of their own, and this is how the Jinn are born. It's also possible for you to get sucked into your own creation. So if you put too much power into one of these books, you could end up stuck in that book. More details later. Uh, but that's the two. So that's the one inversion. But you're also not done there because there's also well, let's just move on. Follow the pages. Follow the pages. Uh, there's also built-in mystery in this game. There is one of the parts of world building is building the world of a place of mystery that's nothing but a sentence or two at the start, like most of this game is. The world building on in this game is very, very communal. The fates start with an island, some bad guys, and a handful of NPCs. The players, as they build their characters, add to the map and add to the story and add to the plot. And then at the end of that process, they add again because part of making your character adds things to the map. And then at the end of all the characters adding things to the map, everybody adds one more thing to the map. So it starts off blank, but by the end of your character creation session, it's full and ready to go, including all kinds of stories, factions, fights, things to do, things to steal, bad people to be bad to, and good people to be good to. So let's move on a little bit. As you're building it, we're going to use the questions that are in the book to build this world because I love the way this works. They are as follows. He said, like a teacher. Why are the seas here? This is about the genre that you want to play. This is Are you here to just romp over everything that shows up, win every fight hands down, never get hurt, be heroic, sliding to the end like Johnny Depp and go ta-da? Or do you want something grittier and nastier? How much magic do you want in the game? How bad do you want the baddies to be? Where are your lines and veils? All that good stuff is built into the game making process. The very first question, why are the seas here? Which is, why are we here? The second question, what tone does this game have? Talked about the genre before, but you can do just a random genre. If you picked romance, you can do comedy romances, you can do tragic romances. So the tone is separate from the genre, and it's very specifically discussed here. Um, in this is also where we double down on the safety rules and safety features and X cards and lines and veils because with the empire, the land of law being evil, evil's going to happen, and we have to figure out a level of comfortable, and it's going to be different in every single game for how much evil we're going to share with the players, characters, and viewers. So we'll go through that in the character creation process because it's right there. And then we're also going to, the other one that we're going to talk about is part of the world creation process, not your character creation process, but before you ever get to that, part of creating your world is deciding which of, at the moment, two ships you're going to start with. And there's a reason for that. Because this is where you have to ask yourselves, do we want to be the heroes, big, bright, and shiny? Or do we want to be the underdogs, the bad news bears for the old movies? Do you want to start with nothing but a rusty, dusty boat and end up saving the world anyway? Because those are your choices, and the whole play style of the party as a group is going to be determined on whether they take either the legend. This is a famous boat of old, but it's got a long history and a powerful reputation. Now it's yours, and it's got a long legacy to chase. This is essentially a really powerful boat that's been stripped down to almost nothing. So your job as you're adventuring along is to bring this boat back to its glory. But because it is what it is, You've got fame and glory in places that you go, but you've also got expectations. So this is for the Zap Brannigans, the ones that want to just dun 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 and march their way through this game. The other boat, I love the name that they've given it, the Ramshackle. It's home crafted boat tied together with spit and a prayer. It may not look like much, but you've got your heart and soul into it. We'll get to the details later, but you can see which one of these two completely changes the way the game's going to start. Do you, ride the Widda into harbor as your very first scene, or does the very first scene zoom on us on all of you bailing madly? We come back to the ship later, but this decision is actually part of the world making process. Then we pick characters. So there are playbooks in this game, very common thing in a lot of these games. And let me, should be, oops, one moment please while I technical. Here are the ships that we were looking at. The legend is here, and we'll get back to these details later because we haven't actually built the ship yet. We've just, this first action is whether we're, which one of these two we're going to take. But we can use this as a chance to show a thing here. Every character sheet in this game for characters or for your ship include ship create your character creation on the same document. So there's your character sheet. There's how you create it on the left, and on the right there's how you advance it. So this is level ups on the right, this is starting decisions on the left, and it's built right into every single sheet. So smirt, smirt, smirt. But let's pick a playbook here. Actually, we're not going to pick one. We're just going to go through them. They look like this. Again, simple. And again, if we do this, there's your moves on the left-hand side, the things you can do. It's the one that you can do automatically at the top, and then below that you get to choose one of those to start with. Character creation on the right. Same thing with this, all the different classes as we go through them. But so nice and simple. It includes your vice. Each class or each playbook comes with a vice that has a game mechanic that you have to resist. So, as an example for Captain, you can be compelled by the fates. That's me. Pirating blades in the dark. Yeah, kind of. At any point in the game, if you're playing the Captain character, the fates can say to you, you see a chance to pursue your ambition, and your ambition is part of character creation. There's the thing at all costs. And if you can try and resist it, if you fail, you'll screw over a teammate and mark one experience. So the reason screwing over a teammate makes a difference is up here in bonds, but we're going to get to that. They're very short answer. They're a way of measuring how much you can use somebody to your advantage or help them, either or. But we'll get to that because I want to go through these characters, and I want to actually this. I don't say this very often. This manual is exceptionally well written, so I'm just going to steal huge chunks of it. Congratulations to Magpie Games. This, for a quick start guide, this is sharply done. Well done. I probably should have told him I was doing this tutorial. I'll send him an email tomorrow after it's too late. But back to this. The captain. You don't have to have a captain. If you've got one of those tables, and I think we're probably going to end up with at least one of those tables where nobody really wants to be the captain, you don't have to have one. It's just a list of abilities and skills. But the captain is, I'll read it here. Expect a lot of treasure hoarding, politicking, and lackeys in your adventures. The playbook treats you as the de facto leader of the crew, if not the literal captain, and encourages you to be power hungry. So that's how you'll get your goodies, is by being that power hungry, do it at all costs captain, because that's how you become successful. But I'm just going to go through the rest of them real quick here. There's your abilities and whatnot, but we're not going to really get to those. You start with this one, and you choose one of these, and you follow these instructions over here, and that's how you get your stats. But we're going to go over those in a minute because I want to go over all the classes first. The Chronicler. This is this is the writer of books. This is the one way to be magical. So again, I'm just going to read it out of here. Expect an increased focus on knowledge gathering and long-term player-driven projects. This playbook faces themes of escapism and social alienation. It will ask you how much control you wish to have over your creations. So this is an opportunity for a dark bastard kind of a character, but it's also an opportunity for the ultimate Zen character who's just going to flow with this and just always just assume that they're going to maintain control of themselves and not lose themselves in their book. Again, we'll go over some details. We don't really need to go over the hyper details, but yes, your vice is book fever. So at any point, I can say you see a book you really want, and unless you can resist it, you're going to have to go. But we're going to skip through most of these fairly quick right now because, like I said, we're going to go back to them in character creation. The swashbuckler. First things first, look at that art. Oh, yeah. This is the yeah, book fever nerd, no doubt. The swashbuckler is this is the bard. This is well, bard with the sword. This is Inigo Montoya, right? This is that guy from the book. If you are a swashbuckler, expect a focus on epic battles, over the top drama, and relationships between crewmates. These relationships might become intimate and passionate. Make sure you discuss boundaries with your fellow players. They are swashing all the buckles they can swash. Yes. This is, and again, it specifically says talk to the other players because this can be the horny bard pirate, right? So, and I'm kind of in one of the games that I'm going to run with this. I'm kind of leaning to this. I like this idea. This just, um, this sort of raunchy character. And if you want to be that but still hit stuff, this is your character. The vice is restless. You can be compelled by the fates to change your soulmate to someone new. Um, and again, also means that if something happens to them, you can lose one bond with them, which again kind of takes some power away from you. Pardon me while I hydrate. So that's the swashbuckler. Next, there's six of them altogether. That's been three of them. This is the Montebank. This is the other way to be magical, although sort of kind of is another one, but we'll get to that. The Montebank is well, expect to have an established demonic NPC in your party. They're in your head. Who probably won't have your best interests at heart. Before playing, discuss role playing boundaries and sensitive subject matter with the fate because I get to be the demon in your head. For that, you get some amazing abilities, but you have to have me in your head. Their vice is bedeviled. So you can be compelled to do as your demon asks, and if you don't, this one's nasty because if you successfully resist it, there will be difficulties. So that's the month of again more details later. I'm just kind of going through just the characters and their troubles. I had to look this one up, and I like words that I had to look up. Matalot is an ancient, or sorry, not ancient, an old English word for sailor. That's all it is. In this instance, they are either, well, you see the troubles. They're either pissed, rash, furious, or raging. So not a wide range. If they were actors, you'd say they were easily typecast. But the Matalots expect to grapple with themes of anger and control. Your rage keeps you strong and shields your crew from danger. They're the paladin barbarian, right? Until it makes you a danger. Expect to break things and not always the things you wanted to see broken. He's a little salty. Yeah, he's got too much salt. They can really do, again, they are the ragey, right? And again, the way that this game is built, it's mechanical. It's not the GM goes, oh, and you lose your shit, attack somebody. There's a score, so to speak. But again, more details later. The next one. Oh, by the way, yeah, just very quickly. Of course, the Matalot's playbook move number one, the one you can't change. of 2 is heart of gold. So yes, they kill everybody, but they also have a heart of gold. The navigator. This one is, it seems pretty basic, right? Like you just steer the ship, but no, nothing's that simple. If you are the navigator, expect more focus on your ship, the stars, and the sea. Expect fewer brawls and more messing with fate from the shadows. This book gives you pursuers, and it shines most when you sometimes let them find you. Navigators can kind of magically um, affect the weather around them and affect others' abilities to find them and things like that. So they are kind of a magical without being magical group. Their vice, as it mentioned, is hunted. Somebody's coming to get you, and if you break the rules of the sea, you're also be in serious trouble. And I think that's them. So that's all the different. Pop back to the top here, but that's all the different playbooks. So that's the basic types you can be. The only thing I'm going to talk about right now is these 4 boxes here, your stats, because when we come back to character creation and actually go through them, which I think we're going to do next a little bit, uh, this is going to matter. So blood, vinegar, polish, and spitfire, not immediately obvious what they are, not like strength, intelligence, wisdom, but here's how you remember them. Blood is your courage. There used to be an old saying, get your blood up, get ready for battle. All right, you're going to use that. Later on, we're going to talk about moves, which is what you can do in the game. You're going to use blood to get into a scrap. So anytime you fight, this is what you're going to be rolling, break in and out of places, things like that. The next one is vinegar. This is cleverness. So this is your sneaky ability to be sneaky. Use this for sizing up situations and turning dirty tricks. The way I remember this one is the really old saying about a vinegar fizz, which was somebody who looked really angry all the time, and I thought they looked like they were sizing you up all the time. So that's how I remember that one. Polish is social skills. Use that to lie to people, talk to people, all the good stuff. And then finally, Spitfire. That's basically your magic stat. That is used to twist fate and unleash your powers. Twist fate is what navigators do to get around corners, to get ships to places they want to go, and unleash powers is what the mages do when they do the thing. But that is our logical place to break for the moves. Yeah. All right. As I said, there's moves in this game. They make a bold claim, and I've yet to prove it wrong, and I think it's going to be right. That group of moves right there is everything you need to play the game. And the cool part is, you don't need to know them. I do. You tell me what you're going to do, and I'll tell you which one of these you roll, and therefore which stat you use. There are, to be completely fair, there's also downtime moves and ship moves, but we'll get to those in a second. Getting through the game itself, 99% of the time, this is what you're going to do. So let's go through them. We talked about them already. Getting a scrap. Anytime you get in a scrap, you roll plus blood. What you're rolling is 2d6 plus or minus the mod in that stat. So 2d6 plus your blood mod. On a hit, which is anything 7 and up, your strike lands true. You trade blows. Both people take damage. On a 10 plus, you can either take the ante, which is take an advantage. We'll talk about that later. Or avoid harm. It's the only way you can avoid getting hurt in a fight. Every fight hurts. Every round of every fight hurts unless you roll a 10 plus and decide to avoid harm. Remember, that's 10 plus on 2d6 plus your blood stat, which can't be higher than 3. Your choice. On a 7 to 9, your enemy presses their advantage or reveals a complication, because this game works on the failed complication success level. So you 0 to 2 to 6, you failed. 7 to 9, you succeed, but there's a complication. 10 plus, you succeed. So that's getting a scrap. The fun part with that is you get in a scrap whether you're a bar fight, whether you're in a sword duel, whether you're shooting at somebody, whether you're on your ship shooting cannons at somebody. It's all getting a scrap. Easy. Next one, break in and break out. Exactly what it says. Tell me what you're opening and roll plus blood. On a hit, you got in or out. But you choose, and again, nothing without consequences. Even on a hit, you've gotten in or out. Choose one of the following things that happen. On the 7 to 9, I get to choose one too. On a 2 to 6, you failed miserably. You're still where you're stuck. Let's quickly go through them. So you even if you succeed, say on a 10 plus, the best you can hope for is you either suffer harm or mark trouble. Trouble is somebody that wants to come and find you later. You run into an obstacle you didn't expect, so you get out, but you have to talk your way past the guard. You lose track of something important, like the person that you had to sneak out of here, or you bring something nasty with you, like the person you had to sneak out of here who turns out to be a bastard. One of those things happens as a best case scenario. You get out and that happens. On a 7 to 9, you get to choose one of those, which is already bad, and then I get to choose one. So two bad things happen to get you out. On a 2 to 6, you don't get out, bad things happen. Next skill. Dirty trick. Use a dirty trick. This uses vinegar, as we talked about before. On a hit, so anything 7 and over, your trick works, but there's a catch. I'll tell you what happened. On a 10 plus, do it with no catch, so you get away scot free, or take the ante, which gives you an advantage. We'll talk about it later. Your choice. So again, most of the time, there's gonna be, uh, even the best case scenario has a consequence that comes with it. Hoodwink, exactly what it means. Lie to somebody, or disguise yourself. To fool somebody in any way in this game is to hoodwink them. This is these nice big broad categories that they're talking about, which I really like. Roll polish, your social skill, talk yourself into and out of problems, right? On a hit, they bought your story for now. The 7 to 9, the deception is more fleeting than you'd like. They open the door and then go, hey, wait. Uh, or it works far too well. You're wonderful. I have to introduce you to my boss. Come with me. That's on a 7 to 9. On a 10 plus, you succeed. You get through. On 2 to 6, you fail. Sizing up. I really like this one because this takes the place of perception and investigation, and there's no argument about which one of those it is. It also takes the place of insight and all of those things all together. Size up a suspicious situation, roll vinegar. On a 10 plus, you get 2. On a 7 to 9, you get 1. You may hold an additional 1 if you stick your nose somewhere you shouldn't. So ask the wrong person a question. Again, it's going to cause shit, but you'll get an extra hold. With those, what you do is you can spend one of them to ask one of the following questions and take +1 on any roll that you make whenever you call on an answer to help you. These are major league questions, so sizing up is a big deal. You can look into a place, size up, and if you do it successfully, even a 7 plus, you can ask the fates, where's the true danger lurking? Where are the signs of hidden treasure? What strange secrets lie just beneath the surface? What here is useful to me and my crew? Or how can I safely accomplish something? Those are huge, huge questions. Having somebody in the party that can size things up, in other words, somebody with a high vinegar, is going to be a really big deal. So somebody's going to want that one. They'll also, or next, parlay. Uh, this is not the technical parlay, which is I come under a sign of truce. Let's talk about a deal. This covers every chance to talk to somebody who is interested. You cannot, it's right there in the first sentence, you cannot parlay with somebody who is not interested in talking to you. So you can't talk your way past the king's guard. He's not want to talk to you. You can't even try. Roll polish on a hit. So anything 7 and up, they're compelled to take the bargain. Compelled is a very important word in this game because anytime it's used, the person who is compelled can resist. It's actually stand your ground. It's right down there at the end. We're going to get to that in a minute. But that means Even if you succeed, there's still a chance they could resist your compulsion. So on a 10 plus, your words carry real weight. You actually gain a bond with each other if you are generous and forthright, or they think you are. On a 7 to 9, they want you to do something for them first. The classic RPG thing. Yes, I'll help you, but you have to go save my sister from the ducks. Do it, and or they can ignore the compulsion. So they're still compelled, but if you don't do this, they can ignore. The next one is where we get to our magic users. Unleash your mysterious power. Use Spitfire, which is the magic stat. On a hit, it does what you want. But we'll get to how you do this later because, like I said, magic is different. But there's always a but in this game. It exacts a personal cost or surges out of control, your choice. That's on a success. So on a 7 to 9, both of those happen. You do the magic, but it surges out of control and there's a personal cost. On a miss, you have unleashed a terrible force into the world. So you do not want to miss on mysterious powers, which makes them, I think, terrifying to use, which I like. Because they can be very powerful. We'll get to them shortly. But first, the two more of these. Twist Fate. When you twist fate, you get out of a sticky situation. This is like bending luck. And yes, luck is a stat in this game. So on a hit, you can spend one luck point. So you have to get the hit and you have to have a luck point to pick one of the following options. And I answer the attached question. On a 10 plus, you answer. So you ask the question, one of these, and you answer it. So it's communal storytelling. I grinned like a bugger when I saw this. So if you got a 7 to 9, you ask, I answer. If you got a 10 plus, you ask, and you answer. And these are big deals too. This twist fate, this is a big thing. This is a whole luck point, which you don't get a lot of. You start with 0. You remember something useful in your pockets. I love this one. The rummage, the good old rummage. Oh, look, I have it later. What is it and how do you get it? How did you get it? So not only do you have to tell me what the useful item is, you then have to immediately on the spot make up a story and tell me where you got it. And if that changes the world, then the world changes, and there we go. The second question is you notice something or the second thing that can happen, you notice something useful overlooked in this area. So you can say to the fates, what did I miss? And if you roll a 10 plus, you can say, what did I miss? Oh, look, there's a gun. And away you go. You can also say you see an ally NPC arrives on the scene in the nick of time. Who is it? So you can make, and again, if you roll a 10 plus, you can say, hey, so and so shows up, and it can be one of my NPCs, and I have to play them as your ally. The last one. Again, they claim that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These 9 things are the whole game. This is all the things that you can do. So the last one is stand your ground. We talked about it before. There's compulsions in this game. You can compel someone to do something. So in this case, when you stand your ground in the face of a compel, I don't like the wording. It's a compulsion, but never mind. Spend a bond with someone. We'll get the bonds in a bit, but you have to spend a bond with someone. Explain how they're inspiring you to overcome yourself, and roll blank. That's 2d6, no modifiers. If the person that you talked about inspiring you is right here, you get +1. If you want to spend an additional bond with them, take +1, but you burn the bonds. They disappear until the end of the session. And if you are facing your vice, take -1. So if there's compulsions and your vice, and if the two of them come together, it's a bad thing. On a hit, you resist. On a 7 to 9, you mark a trouble or give in to the compel, your choice. So you can get. Yes, this is a new game system. This is Rapscallion. We're going to be running a couple games with this quite shortly. So this is the tutorial to go through. You're actually here fairly early on, and probably didn't miss anything that's going to make a real serious difference. But stand your ground. On a hit, you resist the compel. So you manage to not have to do what you're compelled to do by. And these compulsions most of them are like you saw before. They're in the instructions. This game's got a real sort of tag and link system that I really like to remind you of all the little crunchy bits, because it's a little more crunchy than what I'd like to run, but I think it works. I think it's gonna work because of these links, because it's all right there on the page. Anyway, stand your ground. On a 7 to 9, you mark a trouble or give in, your choice. On a miss, the compel takes hold and you lose it, and you act in your moment of weakness. And to make it worse, you have to tell me how that looks. That's all the moves. That's all it is during the action of the game. Downtime moves. This is a thing again. This tends to get ignored in games. Downtime. It's hard to work it in, but in this case, there's really good reasons to do it. Ah, oh, it's good water. You can get the scoop. In other words, put your ear to the ground. You roll vinegar, and you ask two on a hit. On a 7 to 9, you ask one. What do the locals know about something? Where can I find something? How can I get the locals to do something? Or what are the hidden dangers if I do a thing? On a miss, the fates will tell you that you didn't get answers. Take a trouble to ask for one. So you can, at that point, even though you failed, you can choose if you take a trouble to ask one question. And in my head, that means going to like your ex or somebody you didn't want to talk to and getting the information from them. So it causes some trouble, but you get the information that you wanted. Yes, it is a very similar mechanic to Masks. Same company, Magpie Games. Um, so this is that as pirates. The other thing you can do is carouse during downtime. You spend a treasure and roll polish. This is one way to get more luck. You get 3 luck, and on a 10 plus, you made friends and maybe found an opportunity. On a miss, you lose 1 luck, but you overindulge in your weaknesses. Mark your vice, so your vice takes over. You can also go gambling. Spitfire, you gain and lose treasure. You can tinker, you can build stuff, and anybody can do it. All you need is vinegar. It's basically your brains. On a hit, you can create an object with 3 tags. We'll talk about tags later, or repair an object in good working order. On a 7 to 9, you choose one of these things. Either I choose one of the tags, or I add a bad one, or it costs the treasure to complete. On a miss, you're missing something crucial. I have to tell you where you can find it, and once you do find it, you can complete it as if you'd rolled a 7 to 9. So that's still there. It's a fail forward situation there with Tinker. Making dubious friends. I love this one. You can find a person that does a thing. Basically, it's I know a guy. It's that basically. Uh, they're willing to do a favor for you. On the 7 to 9, they'll do a favor, but they want something in return. But if it's a miss, they actually give you trouble. You need to do what they want, or they're going to follow you around and be an ass about it. You can also perform a ritual. This is you roll Spitfire on a hit, it accomplishes its goal. Uh, this is more for your magic people and for making books and things like that. But anybody can try it with Spitfire. On a hit, your ritual accomplishes its goal. On a 10 plus, again, there's always side effects. A 10 plus, choose one of these. On a 7 to 9, the fates choose a different one. So you choose one. The ritual's effect is not quite as planned. You must sacrifice something important, or you're cursed or changed in the process. There's only 3. If you roll a 7 to 9, you're going to end up with 2 of those. So, again, magic in this game comes with a cost. Everything comes with a cost, but magic in particular. And you notice so far, none of it's like hyper fast. We're going to get to that in a bit. There's also ship moves. I'm going to speed these up because, yes, you'll be using them a lot, but they're nice and simple. And when you want to either get alongside another ship to board them or get broadside so you can shoot at them, you roll take it head on. Your ship itself has stats. One of them is steadfast. On the 10 plus, you get both. You get beside them and fire the cannons, and you can still board. On the 7 to 9, they're ready for you regardless, so you can still accomplish what you want, but they get to shoot back. And on a miss, you miscalculate. Basically, they do damage to you, and you don't get to do damage to them. There's even a ship move called surrender. If you're getting looks like you're going to get beat, you can surrender, and you can basically fortune is kind of like their uh, their polish stat. You can use the fame of the ship to make them to hopefully get them to treat you better when you do that. Escape, the ability to get away. Roll with speed. Outmaneuver is also with speed. This, if you do that, you get the opportunity you created. So you get out of their line of fire, but you can still shoot at them. You get behind them. You get in front of them. You go into a fog bank before they do, something like that. Navigate. This is your towards a difficult or new destination. And again, this is where that magic non-magic comes in because your navigator rolls Spitfire, which is a magic ability. And again, typical thing. The better you do, the better success there is. But that's it. That's all the moves there are. It's not all there is to the game, but that's all the moves that there are. Next is some specific stuff you got to talk about. We talked about bonds before. If we looked at those character sheets, you can have up to 3 with each person. Part of them you're going to build as you build your character. You're going to add them from other places and things like that. We'll get to that after we do these. But you've got when you've got them, what you can do with them, you can spend a bond with somebody to add 1 to their roll or to your roll against them, because there's things that give you bonds. Anti, we're getting to it, that allow you to have a bond with your enemy and then use it to add 1 to your roll against them. You can also give them an emotional based tag for an NPC, so you can tell me that they're scared, tired, exhausted by spending a bond with them. Or trouble, that's for PCs. We'd have to talk about that because that's PC over PC control, and I'm not really happy with that. We'll see. You can also spend a bond with someone to learn their Achilles heel. So if you have the anti, we're going to get to that in a second. You can use that to learn your opponent's Achilles heel before the fight even starts. You can also spend a bond to use them as inspiration to stand your ground when you're compelled to do something. We talked about that when we talked about compels. Mentioned the anti a bunch of times. Once per encounter, if you have it, and you get it by doing things, you saw it in some of the moves. If you have the anti once per encounter, you can act as though you've spent a bond with your primary opponent. So again, if you have the anti at the start of a fight, you can learn their Achilles heel before you even start. You could make them scared before you even start, or you could add 1 to your roll against them on your first roll. Luck is the next one. There's something I missed. I didn't put it on here. You can spend luck to do 3 things. You can get a lucky break. So tell me what lucky thing happens to get you out of the trouble that you're in. You can use special moves. When we do character creation, you'll see it says use 1 luck to do this. And you can add 1 to a roll. Burn 1 luck, get 1 roll. You start with 0. And some moves will give them back to you. Some actions will give them back to you. The only other way to get them back is if you have a positive Spitfire score. In other words, it's not a negative number. You refresh your luck up to that score at the start of each session. So there's that. Troubles. This is a key part of the game, and they have a format for a reason. There's for those that like the sort of the blank name, effect, endpoint. In other words, what it's called, what it does, and how to fix it. That's a key part. Almost every trouble will have an endpoint of some sort. So there's some examples here. You're cursed by your pirate, so that you're compelled every time you steal gold or see gold, you want to steal it. It's a compulsion. So every time you steal gold, you have to resist. When you fail to resist and get busted, that's what it takes to break that curse. Or you can resist it. Try to resist it then every time if they don't catch you. Or another effect, a more prosaic one, a broken leg. The effect is you can't walk, and the endpoint is getting medical attention. Simple. Right? They also end if the cause is removed. So if you're compelled to steal the gold and you go to where the gold is and somebody's already stolen it, the compulsion is removed. They can also be resisted by standing your ground, but only if they cause a compulsion. So some troubles don't cause a compulsion, like broken leg. There's no compulsion. It's not you're compelled not to walk. It's you can't walk. You can't resist that. Next. These are just some examples, and I'm not going through them, except I'm going to touch on a couple at the bottom. There's indebted, so you can owe somebody money. That doesn't go away till you pay them. But down to the bottom, they've got the drug abuse in here. So there's spice eaters, overdose, or 3 downtimes without it is what it takes to get rid of it. Until then, you're compelled to partake of spice whenever you see it. For an hour afterwards, you are compelled to basically make really bad decisions and do all kinds of weird things. Sugar high is kind of the opposite of that. You either have to overdose on it or take it 3 times, go 3 downtimes without taking it. You're compelled to partake in sugar. For an hour afterwards, you obey any instructions. You believe everything that anybody says to you. So yes, the spice eater is the YOLO drug, and the sugar high makes you tremendously gullible. But that's just the format, so you can make whatever you want out of them. Harm is damage. Uh, when you see, you'll see that some of the on the character sheets, some of the little marks have a skull in the space, and when you get to one of those, you are compelled to be done for. It's exactly what it means. If you don't resist this compulsion, you're done for. You're dead. Not dead. You're out for the rest of this scene, at least. If you fail, you recover at the end of the scene, like it says. If your harm tally ever gets full, you you go last words. It says you roll your last words. You can either roll them or choose them. That's on the thing. We'll get to that in a second because we're actually getting fairly close to making a character. Um, except that treasure in this game, it's abstract. It's not like 50 gold pieces, 100 silver pieces, a blue thing, a yellow thing, a green thing. A treasure can be any one thing, a chest of gold coins, a fine piece of jewelry, anything that is of value. Any 5 treasures create one hoard. That's important for moving stuff around. One hoard takes up 1 cargo space. And a pittance, yes, you can get a pittance. It's so small you don't need to record it. In other words, if lunch is a pittance, you don't have to pay for it. Hello. I just realized we had a new person in the chat, and I'd already answered a question for you, but I hadn't looked at who asked it because you're the same color as the person above you. But yes, a pittance is exactly that. So small, so it means you don't have to mess with the mechanics in the game. Wouldn't you? Because you're pirates. There's going to be big plunders, even if you're only stealing from the Empire. There's rules for that too. So just as an example, in the case of a major haul, you have busted the treasure ship. Roll 2d6 plus to see how you do, plus 1 for every hint that you knew that the score would be large. So if it was a big ship in convoy, guarded by protection, that's plus 3. So 2d6 plus 3. On a 7 to 9, you take 3 treasures and choose one of the fancy schmancy items below. We'll talk about that in a second. But you also choose 1 consequence. On a 10 plus, you can take a second item as well. You still get the 1 consequence. On a fail, you only take one more treasure because you always get 3, so plus that, so 4. But you can choose 2 consequences, or you can if on a fail you only take 1 treasure. If you then choose, you can take 2 consequences and 1 item from the list below. So even if you fail, you can sort of get a thing, but it makes it worse. The items are a beautiful weapon that does 2 things, a strange object, I have to make something up, an advanced tome that is dangerous and does a thing. That's more for your magic user because they're reading somebody else's book is potentially dangerous, especially because it might have somebody inside it. You could find documents that you can. I like this one that you can use to specifically blackmail someone important, disguise yourself as someone important, or bargain with someone important for a lot of money. But the consequences are there too. One of your lackeys, we'll get into that, they come with your ship. They want something from the treasure and they go wild. It's in capitals because it's a tag that won't go away if they don't get it or you don't beat them up. If you beat them up, they might leave. One of the treasures that you stole is the stolen property of a powerful person who wants it back. So your lovely new sword belongs to a king. We come on to get it. Or curses, because pirates and curses go together like pirates and pirates. There's also tags on things. We talked about them. I'm not going to go through these other than they have tags on them, and the tags do things. Just touch on a couple of these. Cursed does the curse thing. Dangerous. It's unpredictable and harmful. If used, every time it's used, there's a consequence. Um, hinders something. If you do something with this, take -1. So think of the loud clashing armor. It hinders you being able to sneak or break into and out of places. Uh, Yeah, a tome. It's a magic book created by a chronicler, uh, that sort of thing. But they've all got tags to tell you what they do. Armor exists in this game, but not a huge amount. It can help you avoid arm damage. It's only used once per session. If you use it a second time, it's either destroyed or you must mark a trouble, um, unless there's special abilities. But really, it's not going to show up much. It isn't that kind of a game. This is more silk and admiral's hats than it is armor and shields. And then there's weapons as well. Same thing. They have tags as well. The only one I'm going to mention here is right at the bottom, wreck. A weapon with wreck is capable of harming ships and therefore buildings and things like that. It deals, you'll have one wreck, two wreck, three wreck weapon. It does that amount of wreck if targeting a ship. That's that one. We're almost there now. Things that ships do. We're going to build a ship in a second too, but we need to know a few things before we get started. Crew space. Each ship has a number of space. That's how many crew you can have. You can have more crew than that, but if you do, they take up cargo space. Simple. You can load a ship past its limit, but it goes slow. If you put too many people in it, it stops. Really simple. Renown is your fame. You're a pirate. You want to be famous. The advancements, what you have to do is on the ship sheets. We'll show you that in a minute. But once you have at least one renown, once you've done the first thing on the list, it's like a to-do list to make your renown go up. Once you have at least one, you can use the renowned pirate's move at the end of downtime in a public place. Roll 1d6, and if the result is equal to lower than your current renown, you choose one boon and one unwanted attention. It's always one of each, as per usual for this game. The boons are a new follower who will do one thing for you that doesn't involve them getting hurt or leaving this place. A treasure map. I mark an X on it unless you take an extra unwanted attention than you do. So that's, again, you choose a consequence. Or the third boon is you've impressed a powerful person. You and a crewmate both get a bond with them. I changed that ever so slightly from the way it's written in the rules, but there's a reason. But you also, like I said, you pick a boon, but you also have to pick an unwanted attention, and you have to pick your own. So nasty. A bounty hunter is here and is convinced at least one of you is on his list. I spelled one wrong, damn it. But one of you is on his list, at least one. Or a powerful enemy knows you're here, maybe the one whose stuff you stole. You need to run now. This is a powerful enemy. This is not a stick and fight place. This is a runaway. Or you're cursed, because curses, pirates, fun. Your ship takes damage. We're still talking about ship here. Only weapons with the wreck tag can damage the ship. Yeah, Pirates of Penzance. Yeah, one of these that I'm aiming at is kind of a Robin Hood on the Seas meets Pirates of the Caribbean. The other one is Pirates versus Zombies. So we'll get into those in a bit. But only weapons with the wreck tag can actually damage ships. So it's as simple as that. Your wreck tally, though, is equal to your steadfast. So when we start to build the ship, you're going to see that you can choose how tough your ship is, and that changes how much damage it can take. Ship armor works just like pirate armor, but it's hardly ever used, so don't worry about it. Spices and the spice must flow. Yes, exactly. In fact, that's very close to one of the games we're doing. But there is one thing with ship armor if you have it, and this is a common thing in this game too. Any crew member, any player character, can decide to use the armor. It doesn't have to be a unanimous decision. If any one person says, yes, we're using the armor to defend the ship, you're using the armor to defend the ship. And each and every time you take a point of wreck, it comes with a condition. They are down here. They can be, and again, they're all going to be bonus. Either the crew is shocked, -1 on all ship rolls until steadied, defenseless, +1 to all enemy attack rolls until you're steadied, cracked, your armor fails if you have any, it takes major repairs to fix it, so it's not going to happen in the fight. Grappled, your ships are stuck together, it's going to take, somebody's going to have to voluntarily take a wreck to pull free. Hull breach, lose 1 item from your cargo. Ammunition stores, weapons do -1 wreck because you can't get the guns loaded fast enough. Sail damage slows you down. Stern damage makes it hard to maneuver. And waterlogged, you lose 2 cargo or crew space. until you man the pumps or person the pumps. So again, and that's every single time your ship takes damage, one of these applies until you fix it. How do you get better? Oh, it's right on the sheets. This is cool too. We're about to do character creation, but it's right on the sheets. Every time you fail, every time you roll 6 or lower, you get 1 experience. So yay, right? That's like, this game's tough. There's consequences even when you succeed. So on the bright side, there's also consequences when you fail. You will gain experience when you fail. Every time you roll a 6 or lower, get 1. Every time you gain 3 bonds with one person, mark 1 experience. So the more you get to know somebody. These are mechanical. I can give them out too, but there's mechanical ways to gain bonds with people in the game. And if you can do it 3 times with one person, you gain an experience. If you can answer any one of the following questions positively at the end of a session: have you defeated an important foe? Have you claimed a great treasure? Or has your character accomplished one of their personal goals? If you can do that, get an experience. If so, then declare also that this is the end of a chapter, and each of you marks 1 experience, gains 2 luck, and heals 2 harm. That's the end of an actual chapter then. But let's go build first a ship and then a character. A character. Because there's only 2 choices of ship. As I said, the instructions on how to do it are right down here, right on the character sheet. It is, yeah, it is an interesting system, but you're gonna get to see some the gritties here too, because the first thing you do is, I love this. The first thing you pick is your ship's oddity. Same thing when you're making a character. You pick your oddity first, and that literally defines what your ship can do. So, um, or what? Sorry, I got ahead of myself. That's Kit. This is a weird thing about it. So if we're looking at this legendary ship, one of the choices you pick one. This is as a group before the game starts. It has a lineage. The ship is part of a long lineage of ships, united by a special feature, which is taken from one ship to another to another. So it has things. It can do things. It can be uh, +1 armor. It can breathe flame, 3 harm, 1 wreck, fire. Uh, it's yeah, it can shine. It can be basically psychic. It can unleash its power. You can find the skeleton of the last ship in your lineage, thought to be lost in your waves. Take a history. So if you solve the question, but there's something about your ship that's special, or it's got a voice. Either the ship itself or a previous captain, perhaps. You may perform a ritual. We saw that as something you can do during your off time to commune with it and take a history. You want history for reasons. We'll get there in a minute. Your ship can also be haunted. These are one of these things you choose at the start. So all the pirates who once served upon it. You spend a bond with your ship to summon a spectral horde that kills indiscriminately for a few minutes, sparing only the crew. Ooh. So you pick one of those, and that's it. Make your notes. Make your notes as to what that does. Uh, uh, then there's kit. This is your stats basically. So in this case, we know it's a classic ship, but what kind of ship? Is it a small, sleek, fast one? Comes with 2 units of cannons, a size 2 group of lackeys. Um, you get the extra skills here and whatnot, but these are your stats: 0, +2, -1. So if we go back up here, your steadfast is 0, which means your wreck is only 4. Your speed is 2, so you're very, very quick, and your fortune is 1. Sorry, -1. But you can also take a beautiful fancy ship. It also has 2 units of cannon, but it's got a size 5 group of lackeys, some other fancy stuff, and a lifeboat. And your stats are +1, -0, +1. or the powerful old ship. It's only got one unit of cannons at this time. You can always add cannons. It's got a size 6 group of lackeys, so it's got a big crew, more than what it needs, and a brig for up to 6 prisoners and a beakhead. But again, these are your stats, so that one will be extremely hard to sink because it's got the +2 steadfast. Then you ask the questions. Why is this ship famous? Name someone or something that wants it destroyed. So you don't get the big ship for free. Somebody wants you and it dead. How did you come to crew this ship? What great treasure is rumored to have been buried by its former captain? So part of taking this ship is building a backstory for the game and giving yourself an opportunity, because going after that great treasure could very easily be your vice. And then your ship's name. To advance your ship, just like it says, at the end of each thing you get the experience points, and you can do that. So you can make it better than ever. You can take 1 to all of your ship's traits. You get big reputation. Whenever you parlay with someone, no matter results, add 1 hold to your legacy. You can equal footing history. Now some of these you're going to earn by doing this special ship advancement stuff. So this is, again, it makes it less abstract, right? So when you invest 2 horde into this ship, that's 10 treasures. Over a downtime, you take Ironclad. That gives you 2 armor to use. When you find or confront this ship's past listed in your oddity, because you made this when you built it, take History. History down there is when you need treasure, advice, or manpower from your ship's past. Consult your ship's history, spend a bond with your ship, and roll with the bonus to find out all about the ship's history. When you defeat the ship's historic rivals, so once you've found them and you take them out, you get equal footing, which means you can spend a bond with your ship to give you the ante when you're up against a well-known rival. We said what ante can do. You can find their Achilles heel before you even start. When you claim the legendary treasure hidden by the ship's former captain, take Treasure Island, which is down here, which you always choose 1 additional thing when you plunder hordes. And the big one, when you invest 10 hordes, that's 50 treasures. Over a downtime, take Better Than Ever, which takes all your stats up by all your ship's traits up by 1. And when you get to 3 renown, take Big Reputation, which is whenever you parlay with someone. So what do those numbers mean? Let's go back up here and look. Your wreck is your steadfast +4. That's shown here. It's actually shown if you have a wreck of 0, it's just there. You've got 4 points of damage. If you've got a steadfast of +1, you've got 5, 6, 7. Keep track of it there. This is where you write the condition that goes along with each one as you take them. You roll for them, or pick them, or choose them, and it goes into here. These are your actual stats themselves. This is where you keep track of your crew and how much crew you can carry. This is renown. Actually, I want to talk about legacy first. You begin the game with 5 in your hold. This is different for each ship. The big ship has legacy. The other one has one we're going to look at in a second. But you begin the game with 5 hold. This shows your ship's legacy and the respect or fear of people that have for it. Whenever you spend time on a port, you may spend 1 hold to pick 1 boon and take it immediately, and you don't have to take the bad thing that goes with it. So that's very handy. But renown, how do you get bigger? How do you get better? You have to do stuff. To get to level 1 renown, you have to add a size 1 group of lackeys to your crew. You have to win them over to your cause. You can either take them from another ship or win them over in downtime, something like that. The first time you get one of those, you have renown of 1, and now you can use the renowned pirate skills when you get into port. You do that a second time, you get to renown 2. Now you open the possibility of moving up from there. So first you have to get the 2 groups of lackeys. Then you have to defeat a powerful rival 3 times before you can move up. Then you must plunder an enemy stronghold twice. You can see this will get you, if you defeat the powerful rival once, you gain your 2nd renown. In your third renown, you have to defeat a powerful rival and plunder an enemy stronghold. To earn your fourth renown, you have to defeat another powerful rival and plunder another stronghold. And to get your fifth renown, you must become pirate lords. There's a big thing, though. Epilogue. Pirate lords retire. The game ends. You're OP AF, and it's time to move on. It's time to retire. It's time to do the thing pirates never do, which is retire. And of course, to me, as the Fates, that's my cue to make sure you have succeeded in the story. But that's so your ship itself, actually, you have to do things for your ship to level your ship up. And then when you do, you get to do all these wonderful things down here. That's the legend. That's if you want to be the big bold hero. We went through all of this. We're not going to go through every character. We're going to build one character, but I want to show you the other ship, the Ramshackle. First of all, its steadfast is only +2, so if you don't pick a kit that makes it tougher, you only have 2 hit points on your ship, so don't get hit. Your renown, different. They're different things. Succeed on a bounty or job to get renown 1. Succeed on a second bounty and steal a load of treasure to get level 2. Steal a load of treasure and win a big ship fight by your own self to get to 3. The trick is you don't get to, well, I guess that's up to me whether you get to score these. I'm going to say, yeah, win a big fight by yourself, you get the X here, but then you don't get level 3 until you've also still stolen a load of treasure. So level 4, and you can see there's a lot of boxes over here. It's hard to get high renown in your piddly little ship. Get to 4, you have to steal another load of treasure, win a big fight, and defeat a major foe. And you have to do all that again to get to level 5 and retire. Again, retire is the thing. We talked about the special ability on the other one is its legacy. The special ability on this one is called Scarper. When you're in terrible danger, you may spend a bond with your ship to Scarper from any situation at any time, no matter how unlikely it is or how wrecked your ship is. If you do, your ship washes up on, you pick one, a bustling busy port, a sleepy harbor town, or a mysterious uncharted island. You choose whether you have lost a vital cargo, left someone behind, or find yourself in danger upon arrival. Yeah, it's the fuzz cheese it basically. So yes, that is the differences there, but there's also differences in ship creation. Your oddities are it is freedom. Whenever one of your number is about to be captured by a pursuer, you can spend a bond to miraculously get there in time. Look at it. This is the hero ship, right? This is the underdogs arriving at the last second ship, quite literally. It is your wings. You choose this ship because you want to chase something fathomless and far away. So whenever you feel lost and uncertain on the night in the ocean, you may spend a bond with the ship to have a vision of your next step forward. Or this mysterious ship washed up on your shore when you needed it most because that's what it was made to do. It had a gift for you, or it's a secret that needs to be told. So again, very different oddities. Ship creation, different things, and different abilities, but the same basic idea. It comes with a set of stats and a set of tags that go along with them. Starting questions are different too. Every crew member may name an essential change or addition they made to this ship, and they gain 1 bond with the ship when they do it. Who made the ship what it is now? Describe 1 secret thing that they put into the ship that only the crew knew about. Your ship name. Special ship advancements here. Again, if you look, they're smaller scale because everything about this ship is smaller scale, right? For 1 horde, for a mere 5 treasures, you can take gun deck, which allows you to add weapons. For 2 horde in this ship over a downtime, you can get cottonclad, which gives you 1 armor, not 2 like ironclad did. If you invest 4 horde, that's still only 20 treasures. You can take improvements, which is +1 to a single trait, but you can take it up to 3 times. You can, when you save your ship in the nick of time by doing something daring, which is awesome way to learn a thing, you take found family. That gives everyone on the crew 1 bond with the ship. And when everyone on the crew has 3 bond with the ship for the first time, take the underdogs in capital letters. When you sail your ship fearlessly into danger, roll blank, which is 2d6, no bonuses. On a hit, every crew member holds 1. On a 10 plus, you get 2. On a miss, you can do the thing. You can spend 1 hold to use maximum bonds with the ship for any move instead of the move's original trait. Yes, I fully expect Ramshackle to be the more popular choice if I'm honest. Uh, but that's the ships, and they're so different. They're literally, you get famous differently. Your advancements are much smaller scale, but they cost a lot less, and you're going to get to them faster. But this thing is like a group of cannon can do up to 4 damage, 4 wreck. You're done if it hits you. Right? But we'll find out how that works in game, because I want to do the last thing now, because my voice is going and it's been a lot of information, but we're going to build a character. I'm going to build a captain because it's easy and we don't have to get into the magic stuff because the magic stuff is a little hazy. And I want to get into that first with the players in the session 0, because we're going to determine what magic does. And then we're going to take it from there. But for now, we're just going to build the captain. It is as easy as following the character creation. And oh boy, does this look familiar. Pick your oddities. In this case, this is where I got this from. In the character creation, your oddities are the things that define your stats. So you can be a sea prince. You have a secret hoard, but when you see beautiful treasure, you're compelled to take it yourself. There's a Titan killer. The blood of a Leviathan is on your hands. You can speak the language of Leviathans, breathe underwater, and have horrible nightly prophetic dreams, which are always useful, but that you are compelled to forget when waking. That's brutal. And you could also choose to be possessed. You got a ghost inside you. You can spend a bond with your ghost to phase through a wall, cause 2 harm with a touch, or terrify your enemies with phantasms. You are compelled to do as the ghost wills. So it's kind of like taking a demon. A genius ghost ship more than the ramshackle. Yeah, there's all kind. And again, they've um, their backer kit did really well. They blew their numbers out of the water. Last I saw, the intent is for at least 1 more ship and at least 2 more playbooks. But we'll see. This is the quick start guide. It was free. It is free. I should mention that. It's on Drive-Thru RPG for anybody that wants it. And it comes with all of the stuff in this text that you're seeing. It comes with the stuff that looked boring. That was me. But anyway, so you pick your oddity, and again, that does your blood, vinegar, polish, and spitfire. Then you pick your kit. This is how good you look. You notice with this, the only one that actually does, I mean, you get a cutlass and a fancy hat and a spyglass and all that stuff. It gives you 1 armor, inheritance, parapers. So it gives you stuff and tags again. Like I said, this game is very much about tags. That's the kit that you pick, and then your questions. You obsess over your ambitions. Choose one. You want to rule over an entire ocean, vanquish a powerful foe, or claim a mystic treasure. Something along those lines. So it's a big thing, and that's you're obsessed with. That could very easily be a trouble or even a vice. In addition to your kit, you have a mysterious old map claiming to lead to a treasure. How did you obtain it, and mark its treasure X on the world map? So again, this is where during character creation you put something on the map. This is your ship. Why is it yours? Which crewmate wants it for themselves? So I like that. Who do you think wants your ship? You begin with 1 bond with the ship and 3 bonds to allocate to your crewmates. So if you've got 5 crewmates, you've only got 3 bonds to allocate at the start of the game. Who do you have bonds with? It's absolutely. What we're speaking of map and overlay, my intent at this point is to use Zoom Whiteboard as the map because it's easy to draw on. Everybody can draw on it. We've never done it before, and I think it's a cool idea. And it also means it's a fairly simple overlay for me. Just kind of have the map there and then the stack of people, like when you're in a Zoom call and you share a screen, you get the stack of people down the side. I just have to build an overlay that deals with that. So no big deal, but thank you for asking, because yes, the map is, it's going to be a two-screen game. The map's there sometimes and it isn't sometimes, because there's also a lot of people in one of these games, so there's already not a lot of space on the screen. But, so pick your oddities, pick your kit. You can't distract me, we're almost there. Uh, who do you have your bonds with? Then there's the playbook moves. So I'm going to do this one and then one more for just for the moves to show you how different they are. The ones with the black dot, they're yours. They're automatic. They come with. Yours is command because you're a captain. When you command your crew to enact your dangerous plan, roll polish. On a hit, the crew is compelled to follow your orders. You hold two. This phrasing takes a bit to get used to, but hold two just means you can do two things in a second. Hold on. On a 10 plus, you hold three instead. If the crew member experiences trouble during the plan, spend one hold to explain how you planned for this and twist fate as if you'd rolled a 10 plus. In other words, this works with a consequence. On a miss, take obsessed. You are now each crew member may tell the fates why the plan is ridiculous and mark a luck if they go against your orders. So even when you do this, they can try and turn against you. You may mark obsessed before rolling this move to act as if you'd rolled a 10 plus. So that's the one you get for free as a captain. It's a fairly complicated one compared to some of the others, and then you choose, mark one of the following moves that you get immediately at the start of the game. Black Tongued, you can spend one luck to declare a random NPC to be an old rival or an old friend. And then you take +1 on parlaying with them or hoodwinking them. Just on any NPC in the game, blam, anytime you want. It just costs you one luck. Kiss from Neptune Rex. When your crew wins a fight under your command, you get 2 luck or refresh a crewmate's bonds, your choice. So you could use bonds in the combat, use them up, and then if you have this, you could get those back at the end of the fight. Or you have a lair. I mean, what pirate doesn't want a lair? It has 2 features. It either has a size 1 group of lackeys, supply of a rare resource, business. It's a fake business that actually makes money. It's a locus, tools in a workshop, a secret entrance, lots of rum and entertainment, a skilled doctor, things like that. When you or anyone that you allow makes use of the lair's features during downtime, they take +1 to the relevant move. So this is like having your own Port Royal, right? Your own sort of pirate city, but it's your personal lair. The other thing you can choose to do, and this makes sense because you want lackeys, is to take recruit as a skill. So when you recruit new talent during downtime, roll polish. On a hit, you recruited a size 1 group, name their leader. On a 10 plus, you get to choose 2 tags. On a 7 to 9, I give them a tag that you don't want. And I like this one. On a miss, you found a wild person with baggage, but they've got something on you. Hire them or they'll cause issues. So you can possibly, everything in this game is about consequences. You could go recruit, basically press gang somebody and get them on the ship and find out that they're way more trouble than they're worth. You can also take rumors as a playbook move, which is kind of bizarre. When you spread rumors during your downtime, you roll. You can on a 10 plus, you can give the locals a tag, or they're unaware that you're the source of the influence, your choice. On a miss, you make enemies of the target, and a fool of yourself, your choice. But you can actually take starting rumors as a skill. Steady the troops. When you use your command move above, the one that comes with, and hit, you can spend a bond with a crewmate to give them either they can ignore compels, they have anti against all enemies, or they take +1, which lasts until this plan is done. And takes 1 to know 1. When you read someone, in other words, when you do the size up someone, when you size someone up, roll vinegar and spend a bond with them to ask them all 3. On a hit, you can ask 1. On a 10, you can ask 2. On a miss, they ask 1 of you instead. So basically your ability to talk. So all I'm going to do now with this next one here is scoot down, quickly mention experience on the way by. The reason this looks like this is it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, experience to get to first level. Then you fill in the little diamond and you erase all the dots. And then it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to get to level 2. And then you fill in that little diamond and you erase all the dots. So it goes up by 1 each level. When you do go up, it tells you right down here what you can do. Everything is on the sheet. Last words I didn't quite touch on because then it's only going to happen if you die, and I really don't expect, or if you're likely to die, don't expect it to happen, and I also don't want to spoil it. But you can advances when you go up a level. These are the things you can do. But I just want to show that the playbook moves are different, and this couldn't be more different. We're with the chronicler now, so this is the person who makes magic by writing in books. I'm not going to go over the oddities or the questions or the kit. That's like everything else, just, you know, focused on this class. So your number one move is that you are a wordsmith. This is the skill. When you write a book during downtime, tell the fates what the book is about and what you want the book to do. This is your magic. The fates give you a quest you must complete before you finish it. So it's not just fireball on a stick, on a piece of paper, right? You have to go do a thing that you must complete before you can finish it from the following list. They can add up to 4 additional quests for more powerful and complex books. So the simplest book, you must either first experience a thing that you're told to go do, it must be made from a thing, the ink must be infused with something, or somebody must make the book their something. When you finish the book, there's still no guarantees. You roll Spitfire. On a hit, you pick one condition from the list and the fates fill in the blanks. So you pick I fill. This condition must happen before the book's magic can be used. On a 7 to 9, you pick an additional condition or the book is dangerous. Your choice. And remember, dangerous, every time you use it, bad things happen. On a miss, tell the fates why the book isn't what you intended it to be. The fates then tell you what weird thing the book does now. Pick 2 conditions for it and it's dangerous. Conditions are the book can only be used in a certain place or in a certain time. The book won't work if it's in a certain place or a certain time. To read it, you must first do something. Maybe you have to wear weird glasses. Reading it causes something to happen. To use a book, fulfill its conditions. You have to do all of this. So, and every time you use it, reading it causes heartburn. So every time you use the book, you get heartburn. You read it aloud and unleash your power. It affects everyone who hears and understands the words. That's almost it for what the explanation of what a book can do. I'm sure that there will be more forthcoming, but I love this because now you get to have, every time you write a book, you're going to have a conversation with the fates. What does it do? This. Oh, that's going to be like 4 things. Like you're going to have to go on 4 quests to get that. Okay, well, how about if it only does this? Well, then you're only going to have to go on 1, and then you roll, and but it can only be used if you're soaking wet. And so you're in battle. You have to be pouring water all over yourself to read the book. But that's the one that comes with. And then you can choose inspiration. You can spend a bond with a crewmate. To use a book's power as if you had rolled a 10 plus. So this is how you avoid bad things happening most of the time. You pick lore keeper. Whenever you encounter them, you might know a story about it. Pardon me. Pathokinesis, choose a strong negative emotion. If you use the book while suffering from this emotion, you ignore all the conditions or dangerous tags on the book. So if you're Hulk and anger, as long as you're mad, the book can't hurt you. And you don't have to, and you can ignore the conditions. So you don't have to, you don't have to do any of that. Just use it. Peruse when you pick one of these at the start, you pick other ones when you level up. Peruse, you can peruse a script in any sort of detail. You can ask 2 questions, the answers you might reasonably deduce from the writing. Da-da-da. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that they're different. The only other one I want to show you is, well, 2. One is the swashbuckler because they get 2. They get 2 starting playbook moves. Theatrics. When you enter a fight, you can roll polish. And you can do stuff, swing from somewhere and land exactly where you want, where you need to, pin an enemy by throwing something, challenge someone to a duel they can't refuse. The move, right? That's one of them, but you also, it comes with soulmate. You have one. It's not a choice. They're either a rival, a love interest, or a combat or a comrade, and those bonds that you have with them do things. And then you choose. Then you can buy these. You only start with these two. You don't get to choose. And I want to scroll down here because same thing here with the dark powers. You can shapeshift, create fireballs and infernos, animate a corpse, force someone to follow your next order, step into a nearby shadow and transport yourself to another one that you can see the deep desires and dark secrets of everyone around you, or enter the dreams of a person whose name you know and give them visions. This is the demon powered one, right? So these powers are amazing. Yes, they're super powerful, but you have to bargain with your demon for something every time you spend a bond with them and you roll polish. Uh, yeah, absolutely. But on a hit, the demon will offer you a deal with a catch, but demands something from the list of sacrifices. Take the deal and leave it, or leave it. On a 10 plus, there's some wiggle room. Bargain to remove the catch or lessen the sacrifice. Or you can be bedeviled. You can be compelled to take a terrible bargain. But again, you start with those two. You have to buy these. Um, so they're down there. We're just going to leave them there. And there is one more. I keep saying there's one more. There's one more, but they're different. And the Matalat. This is the guy we talked about, the Thumper, the Heart of Gold. So they can do huge damage. But when you're helping somebody, you can lend them all your might or dive in front of them and suffer the consequences that they were supposed to take. You can provide a steady hand or word, give them a 10 plus on standing their ground. So in other words, they can resist the compulsion, or look into their eyes and know exactly what they're up to. So you can't lie to them. It also comes with fisticuffs, and you get one of these. So they start with 3. Whew. That is a lot. That was an hour and a half, an hour and 20 minutes, basically. But that's the game. That is Rapscallion. I called it Rapscallions for a long time until I realized there's no S. It's Rapscallion. This is the quick start guide. It's all, none is written in stone. It says this all in the guide itself. But that's the end of it. So I must be in the home stretch. This game, my personal challenge for this, because I always have one, is to use this same system to run a fun, sort of happy Robin Hood on the high seas, um, uh, that Pirates of the Caribbean sort of feel, that super heroic, fun, probably pretty thirsty and just amusing, and lots of great NPCs on one night, and use exactly the same system with nothing different about the system to run a zombies versus pirates another night. It's a mystery. So yeah, more than scum and villainy for sure. The ship stuff is more involved. But and like I said, normally something this crunchy I'd have been running for the doors. But I think if you saw the way the rules are written tonight, and the tags and the links, it tells you what to do. So as long as I've got the moves sheet up in front of me while we're playing, we're going to be okay, because the move says do this, spend that, do this, put a spot here. There's no tables to remember. They're all right there. Why am I talking about it? Let me show a thing. Do that. Yeah. So say you say I say you're in jail. We're gonna break out. Great. Give me a roll plus blood. You get a 7 to a 9. You choose one of these things. You get out, but you choose one of these things, and so do I. Right? That's crunchy, but it's right here. I don't have to go looking at tables. Right? The only tables I had to build were this, which is, I don't get me wrong, it's a lot, but none of this is really. It's the bonds, anti luck, and troubles, right? Uh, but that's only 4 things there, and then because these are examples, harm and treasure, that's 2 things, but they're pretty obvious. I'm not going to forget those. I don't have to look at this until we get to a major treasure, uh, tags, or go on stuff. Yeah, you're already. It's yeah. You've already done what I said. It's all cheat sheets, but um, they're simple, and I don't need them a lot. Right? I don't need the tags until we find an item that isn't on this list because these have all got tags already. Right? So, and then it's just a matter of flipping to this page. I'm going to have all this stuff open and going that, and that. Or you pick one, I pick one, right? And again, this is where we can share in Zoom. We can share this page, so we can, as a community, we can decide what it's got, what it does, and what it doesn't do. So we can do all of that. And the same thing here, right? The ship damage, but I only need this. Crew and cargo space is on the sheet. Renown is on the sheet. I need this only when you go into town on downtime. This is on the sheet. It's all there. This isn't, but it's again fairly obvious. It's just cool ideas. If something goes wrong, and it's the format. As long as you know the format, it doesn't. You don't need the list, right? There's the condition, what it does, and how to fix it. That's all you need to know. So I'm not too worried about that. An advancement, I mean, it's simple. Plus, you only do it at the end of each sort of chapter, so it's nothing to worry about. So I have a sneaking suspicion that not only is it crunch, it's considerably crunchier than what I normally play. I think I'm going to enjoy running it, and I don't think I'm going to change very much. I usually gut systems and just like get rid of everything, but I can't do that with this because it's all these tags and links are interconnected. So I have to use the rules. So I'm really, again, that's one of the challenges is rules as written. I've never made that, never succeeded in that challenge, which is why it's always a stretch goal. But my main goal with this one is to play the two games. One we've got all stocked up and ready to go for crew. The zombies one is still available spaces in that. So it's a mystery. It's a zombie mystery. It's not just kill zombies and survive. You're going to have to try and figure out what's causing the zombies and fix it. But you're pirates is. So that's the game. Fairly crunchy. 90-minute tutorial is way too long. Nobody's going to watch all of that. But never mind. We're going to do our session 0 fairly shortly here, probably within the next couple of weeks. And like I said, we went through character creation tonight. It's 2 or 3 minutes to create a character, right? Really not much. Add stuff to the map, build the map, get the lines and veils covered, and figure out exactly what these games are going to be like. But until we do that, we're pretty much done. So lots of comments. Thank you for the chat comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, please put comments and questions below. Previous tutorials that I've done ridiculously well. Like they're my best viewed stuff. So if you do have questions, pop them in the channel below. The only thing I'm going to finish with is, well, the thing. But before I do the thing, I want to do a thing, which is any mistakes that I made tonight are on me. They're not in the book. If I got something wrong, the book takes precedent. They wrote the book. I just read it. I may have gotten stuff wrong. But, and I mentioned I changed one or two things in it while I was reading it, but that's me not following the rules as written. So I've already broken that rule, but we'll see. But with that, interesting system. I'm really looking forward to playing it. I want to see it played in various different ways. With that, we get to the important bit. Until next time, as always, tutorial or game night. Till next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.